Personally though, as a car enthusiast, I do get the appeal of wanting to spend more money in a car. And as much as I enjoy Dave Ramsey's advice or the 23-8 rule, there are ways to own a car without spending any money, or even making money. Like, here's a few examples. The first car that I ever bought was a 2005 Toyota Prius in 2008, and I bought this car for $8,500 with about 70,000 miles on the clock. I drove that car for 4 years, I put on another 50,000 miles, and by the time I moved on from it, it was worth about $5,500, which meant that I only lost about $62 a month in depreciation, which isn't bad. At the same time, I also bought a 2006 Lotus Elise for $30,000. I drove it for 2 years, and then I sold it for $30,000. I then bought a 2008 Lotus Exige S240 for $50,000, and then I drove it for 2 years and sold it for $50,000. There's also my 2005 Ford GT, which is worth about 25% more than what I paid for it, or my Tesla Model 3, which is still worth more than what I paid in 2019 after rebates. Generally, the cars that I buy and drive barely lose any value, or they actually end up making money, because I'm a car fanatic, and anything that I drive, I just want to make sure it's not going to plummet in value. Now, in terms of which cars could work for something like this, in my personal opinion, I tend to believe that might include something like the Honda S2000, an older Mazda Miata, mid-2000s Corvettes, mid-2000s BMW M3s, early 2000s Porsche Boxsters, a used Subaru Impreza, the Toyota FJ Cruiser, late 2000s Audi R8s, and of course a used Mercedes G Wagon. Or if you've got a lot of money, there's also the BMW Z8, any manual Ferrari F40 or Lamborghini, a Mercedes SLS AMG, or almost any Dodge Viper. Now yes, I get those are very specific specialty cars, but there's a market for them, and because of that, the values tend to climb. Beyond that though, you could also buy a more commuter-friendly car. This would typically be a 5 to 7-year-old vehicle with anywhere between 30 to 50,000 miles on the clock that you could drive without any major issues for another 5 to 15 years. All of that is to say that if you just need a car for commuting, buy something that is used, reliable, good on gas, that you could afford to pay for with less than 10% of your overall salary over 3 years if you don't buy it outright in cash.